Hey everyone, this week we wrapped up our Easter series, with our post-Easter sermon, also called Easter Tide. I wanted to remind you quickly that beginning next week, Austin will be preaching a series through the month of May called Good News for Anxious Christians. He'll be talking about some of the misunderstandings about our faith that often cause many Christians to be anxious about their faith. And so I hope that you will join us in the month of May for that new series. This week we were in Matthew chapter 28, wrapping up the Gospel of Matthew. We've actually been in Matthew quite a bit over the last several months in various series. And we looked at a really popular text this week known as the Great Commission. And so some big ideas from the sermon this week. Basically, after Jesus completed his mission on earth, then he gives his followers their mission on earth. Of course, this is called the Great Commission. Reaching lost people with the gospel and making new disciples is the reason why we, God's people, are still here. Otherwise, we would already be in heaven. I talked a little bit about many of the other purposes of the church, and for a lot of those purposes, those are things that we can and will do in heaven one day. And so, but adding people to God's family, making new disciples, is something that we are going to do here, and that's why God has us here, and that is why he has commissioned us to make disciples. The Great Commission starts with the word go. In order to do what Christ has asked us to do, then we've got to be willing to get outside the walls of the church and go into a dark world. We talked about that a little bit. And then finally, essentially, God wants to use his people, the church, to add new people to his family. And he wants people from all nations, is what the commission says, because God wants a big, diverse family. And so our text, of course, was Matthew 28, 16 to 20. And then here are some questions that you can discuss together in your group. Obviously, the first one and second one are the same. What was most interesting or encouraging to you this week from the sermon? Number 2, what was most challenging or maybe raised some further questions for you? Number 3, when you think of the word evangelism, what comes to mind? Why are there so many negative feelings associated with evangelism, even among Christians? What is it about that word that causes some kind of negative connotations? Question number 4, have you ever shared your faith with someone? Or maybe just think about the last time that you shared your faith with someone or tried to share your faith with someone. How did it go? How did you do that, or what did you do in order to do that? Just take some time and maybe discuss that with your group. Question 5, how then can we as a group, you can share this together, encourage one another to more regularly share our faith with others and make disciples? So essentially, how can you as a group better encourage one another to sort of live out the Great Commission? Might be something you can take some time and discuss, all right? The action step this week was to tell someone about Jesus and invite them to church this week. And so hopefully you've had a chance to do that. You can encourage one another to do that. So that's it for this week. Again, I hope you enjoyed our Easter series and that you will join us in the month of May for Good News for Anxious Christians. We'll see you then.